Hello, Mr. G here. Um, I have a few minutes before I got to start teaching, and I have decided I'm going to be spending the beginning of each day reading something out of the Psalms and maybe discussing it if I have time. We're going to start right at the beginning, Psalms 1. We're doing this in our Sunday school class, and today we talked about it, or I should say yesterday, and it is an amazing psalm. I'm going to read it to you first, and then I'll just give a few thoughts on it. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water, that yields fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and all that he does he prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. A few thoughts. First of all, it starts off saying there's the blessed man and then there's a wicked man, and he's comparing the two. Trust me, you don't want to be like the wicked man. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked. He doesn't follow the advice of the wicked. Now, in this case, wicked and blessed are antithetical to each other. They're opposites, right? So the blessed man is told, don't take advice from somebody who is antithetically opposed to you. Now, for the believer, the Christian, I think the application is obvious. Don't be taking advice from somebody who doesn't believe like you do. Now, I'm not saying we don't talk to somebody. I'm not saying we don't deal with bankers who aren't Christians or lawyers who aren't Christians. This is coming at it from a different angle. This is talking about moral truth in my mind. That's what I hear here. I hear the Bible saying, the psalmist saying, don't take advice about how to live your life from someone who doesn't believe like you. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Blessed is the man who does not stand in the way of sinners. Don't look like them. Don't stand the way they do. Don't work hard to be part of who they are. Don't try to be like them. Don't take their advice. Don't be like them. Throughout my life, I've had several different opportunities for business. And one of my greatest tools for doing business with people is my wife. She has radar like nobody's business. Not me so much. I kind of like everybody's friend from the very beginning. But one time we had a man over to our house. And this was a multi-level marketing thing. I'm sure you've heard of Amway. And I was an Amway distributor for a while. And I did okay at it. But this one man who wanted us to be involved with him, Glenda met him. And after he left, Glenda says, do not do business with that man. He's a snake. She was right. And it would have been wrong for me to do business with that man. It would have been wrong for me to involve myself with him, using him as an example of any kind of way, or trying to be like him. And that's kind of what this guy wanted us to do. He wanted us all to model ourselves after him, dress like him, say the same phrases, the same things. He wanted us to be like him. No, I ain't going to do it. Blessed is a man who does not stand in the way of sinners. Sit in the seat of scoffers. This is where you actually go from taking the advice to looking like them to being like them. There is no difference seen between the man who makes it to step 3 of this first verse. You've taken their advice, you wanted to look like them, and now you're actually acting like them. You're scoffing, you're deriding, you're talking sarcastically, full of derision. In fact, there's no difference between you and the people you're with. If you claim to be a Christian and yet you're standing looking like the non-Christian person who doesn't believe like you, and you're talking like them, I want to go back to that old adage, if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, it must be a duck. Don't be the duck here. Don't be like them. Now, he says, but the blessed man, his delights in the law of the Lord, he loves it. There's peace, there's an attraction to the word, the law of the Lord. That's true for me. I'm attracted to the Bible. I like it. When the Bible isn't part of my life, I feel disjointed and out of order. It just brings peace and centeredness and a solidity to my life. His delights in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. The word meditate kind of means like to talk to yourself, to mutter to yourself. I'm always doing that. The word, the Bible, is always in my mind, and in almost every situation I'm in, there's something from the Bible that comes into play. Now, whether or not I follow the advice is another thing, because I'm not perfect. I don't always listen to the smart thing. But the point is that I've read the Bible a lot, and the Bible is always part of my thinking process. When I'm talking with somebody, if they're having an issue, Bible verses are coming to mind, and I can give advice, and I come off sounding a lot smarter than I am because I've put a lot of the Bible into me. My delights in the law of the Lord, and I meditate in it day and night. I focus on it on a regular basis. It says, the blessed man is like a tree planted by streams of water, yields its fruit in its season, leaf doesn't wither, and everything he does prospers. Here's something important here. First of all, we're compared to a tree. A tree has seasons it goes through, right? Spring, the leaves come out, fruit starts to bloom, blooms turn into fruit comes off the tree loses its leaves, and in the winter it goes into hibernation, and the cycle repeats. We go through seasons in our life, and there's seasons when we prosper. We're not always bearing fruit, but we're always growing. That's first thing. This is a tree, yields its fruit in its season. It's healthy, its leaf doesn't wither. It's planted by streams of water. This is really important. This tree didn't plant itself. It required an external force to plant it. Now, in nature, that's going to be a river, a creek, an animal, the wind dropping the seed. The important thing is the seed doesn't plant itself. Something external to the seed plants it. Blessed is a man because he's like a tree planted by streams of living water. Who would that be? Who would that gardener be? Of course, it's God. For the believer, God plants us. That's why we're secure in him. He's the gardener. He plants us in a good place. He's the one who puts us here. Okay? Now, it says here in 4 and 5, but the wicked aren't like that. They're like chaff that the wind drives away. Now, we all know chaff is the outer covering of like wheat, right? And it's very light, and the wind will blow it away. But that isn't the picture here. I saw a video once of somebody throwing wheat into the air, and then they have these two giant paddles, and they smash these paddles together, and that breaks the husk open, and the kernel drops because it's heavier, and the chaff gets blown away. It's like that. It's a violent act. The wicked are not so, like what we just talked about. The wicked are like chaff that the wind drives away, or some translations, blows away. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. This verse here, verse 5, is talking about the end of time. We stand in front of the throne of judgment. The wicked aren't going to stand there. Why? First of all, they don't want to be there. They spent their life defying God. And God's about to give them their heart's desire. They spent their life saying, God, I don't want you. God's going to say, you know what? You don't need me. You don't have to be with me. And then, like that, it's an act of violence. They're getting their wish. And there won't be any sinners in the congregation of the righteous. That's not talking about church here and now. It's talking about that moment. God is going to blow the sinners away. Send them to where they want to go, an eternity without him. Right? Because the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. Isn't this a great psalm? There's a lot here to think about. And I could go into a lot more detail, but I'm kind of hampered by time, and I think this is enough. It's a good day to be me. God's word is good. Blessed is the man who meditates day and night on the law of the Lord. Good stuff. Have a great day. God bless you. Bye-bye.